reading over Susannah's latest work. Tina looked up at Vincent and Susannah with a smile. "You know," she said, "sometimes I think about how everything started, how it felt so messy and complicated. But now, looking at us, I see how much we've all grown." Vincent nodded, his hand resting on Tina's. "Life is full of twists and turns. We don't always understand why things happen, but we learn from them. And in the end, we are better for it." Susannah smiled softly, her heart full. "I've learned that love is more than just the easy parts. It's about forgiveness, understanding, and growing together. And I think that's what makes our relationship stronger than ever." Tina, Vincent, and Susannah sat in quiet contentment, knowing that their journey wasn't over. There would be more challenges ahead, more bumps in the road, but they were ready to face them together. They had learned the importance of family, of love, and of understanding one another, and nothing could take that away. As the months rolled by, Tina, Susannah, and Vincent's bond continued to strengthen. Each passing day felt like a new chapter in their journey of growth, forgiveness, and love. Susannah's writing continued to flourish, and she found herself immersed in stories that reflected the struggles and triumphs she had faced. It was as if she was finally tapping into a part of herself she had long ignored. Her voice, her truth. One evening, after dinner, Susannah sat down with Vincent and Tina in the living room. The light from the lamp above cast a warm glow on her face as she stared at the papers in front of her, her pen poised in the air. "I've been thinking," Susannah said, her voice thoughtful. "I want to share my writing with others. I've been so scared to put myself out there, but I think it's time. I want to be a published author." Tina and Vincent exchanged a glance, both of them filled with admiration and pride. They had seen Susannah's transformation from a person burdened by her past to someone embracing her future with courage. The woman sitting before them now was different, stronger, braver, and more sure of who she was. "I think that's a wonderful idea," Vincent said, his voice full of warmth. "You have a gift, Susannah. Don't hold back." Tina smiled, her heart swelling with pride for her sister. "You've worked so hard for this, Susannah. I know you can do it. You've always been brilliant." Susannah took a deep breath, her heart racing with excitement and nerves. "I've been so afraid of failure, but I've realized that it's not about being perfect. It's about doing what I love and sharing it with the world." That night, Susannah sat down at her desk, fingers dancing across the keyboard as she worked on her first manuscript. She poured everything into it, the pain of the past, the lessons she had learned, and the hope she felt for the future. As the words flowed from her heart, she felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted from her shoulders, but preparing herself for rejection. She knew the road wouldn't be easy, but she was determined to keep going. She had learned that life was about perseverance, and she wasn't about to give up. One afternoon, while Tina and Vincent were out running errands, Susannah received an email that would change everything. Her hands shook as she opened the email and read the words that made her heart leap. "Dear Susannah, we are pleased to inform you that we would like to offer you a publishing deal for your manuscript. We believe your story has the potential to inspire and captivate readers, and we would love to work with you to bring it to life." Tears filled Susannah's eyes as she read the message over and over. This was the moment she had been waiting for. She had taken a chance, put herself out there, and now her dream was coming through. When Tina and Vincent returned home, Susannah couldn't contain her excitement. She rushed to meet them at the door, holding her phone in her hands. "Guess what? I got it," she exclaimed, her voice filled with disbelief and joy. "I got a publishing deal. They want to publish my book." Tina's face lit up with happiness as she hugged Susannah tightly. "I knew you could do it, Susannah. I am so proud of you." Vincent smiled, his eyes twinkling. "This is amazing, Susannah. You've earned this. Your hard work has paid off." As they stood together, celebrating Susannah's success, Tina couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought them all to this point. It wasn't just about the publishing deal. It was about the love and support they had for each other, the strength they had gained from their struggles, and the unbreakable bond that held them together. But as Susannah's career began to take off, new challenges arose. Susannah found herself balancing the demands of being an author with her personal life. The pressure to meet deadlines, attend book launches, and constantly be creative weighed heavily on her, and she sometimes felt overwhelmed. One evening, as she sat at her desk, staring at a blank page, Susannah felt the familiar sense of doubt creeping in. Was she good enough? Could she continue to live up to the expectations of her readers? Vincent noticed the change in her demeanor and sat beside her, gently placing a hand on her shoulder. "Susannah, you don't have to be perfect," he said softly. "You've already proven how strong and talented you are. But you don't have to carry all of this by yourself. We are here for you, every step of the way." Tina, who had been listening from the doorway, walked in and smiled. "You are not alone, Susannah. We will help you through this. You don't have to do everything on your own." Susannah looked at them, her heart swelling with gratitude. She had spent so many years feeling like she had to face everything by herself. But now, she realized that she didn't. She had her sister and Vincent by her side, always ready to support her. With their encouragement, Susannah took a deep breath and started writing again. She didn't have to be perfect. She just had to be true to herself. As the days passed, Susannah's confidence grew and her writing became more authentic than ever. She poured her heart and soul into her work, knowing that it wasn't about meeting anyone's expectations. It was about sharing her story with the world. And as her book hit the shelves, she received letters from readers who were touched by her words. Her story had resonated with so many, and she knew that she had made the right choice in following her dreams. As Susannah's book began to gain popularity, she found herself caught in a whirlwind of interviews, book signings, and media attention. The excitement of seeing her name in print was overwhelming, but it also came with a new set of challenges. People expected more from her, and the pressure to write another bestseller soon weighed heavily on her shoulders. One evening, after a particularly tiring day of book events, Susannah sat alone in her room, staring at her laptop. The cursor blinked back at her, but her mind was blank. She felt drained, as if every bit of creativity had been drained out of her. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard, but no words came. "Maybe I am just not cut out for this after all," she whispered to herself, her voice tinged with frustration. "What if I can't do it again? What if this was just a fluke?" As the doubt settled in her mind, her phone buzzed. It was a message from Vincent. "How was the signing today? How are you feeling?" Susannah smiled softly, her heart swelling with affection for him. He had always been there for her, no matter how tough things got. She typed a quick response. "It was great, but I am exhausted. I don't know if I can keep up with all of this. I feel like I am running out of ideas." Almost immediately, Vincent replied, "You've been through so much already, Susannah. I know you can do this. but don't forget to take care of yourself. You've earned the right to rest." Susannah sighed, leaning back in her chair. Vincent's words felt like a warm embrace, comforting her in a way she hadn't expected. She had been so focused on the demands of her career that she had forgotten to take care of herself. The next morning, Tina noticed that Susannah seemed a little off. She hadn't been her usual energetic self lately, and it made Tina worry. After all, her sister had worked so hard to get where she was, and it seemed like she was pushing herself too hard now that she was living her dream. "Susannah," Tina said gently, sitting down beside her, "I've noticed you've been feeling down lately. You don't have to keep pushing yourself so hard. It's okay to take a break. We are all here to support you." Susannah looked at Tina, the weight of the world in her eyes. "I just don't know if I can keep up with everything. There's always pressure to do more, to be more. And what if I disappoint everyone?" Tina reached for her sister's hand, giving it a comforting squeeze. "You are not disappointing anyone. You've already done something incredible. But you don't have to do everything on your own. You can take a step back and just breathe." For the first time in a long while, Susannah felt a sense of relief. It was as if a heavy burden had been lifted from her shoulders. She had been so caught up in proving herself that she had forgotten what really mattered, her own well-being and the people who loved and supported her. "I think I've been afraid of failing," Susannah admitted, her voice small. "Afraid of not being enough." "You are more than enough, Susannah," Tina said, her voice full of conviction. "You've proven that already. It's okay to slow down and take care of yourself. You don't have to do everything at once." Tina made a decision. She would take a break from the whirlwind of book events and media appearances. She would spend some time focusing on herself, recharging and finding the inspiration she needed to write her next story. It was okay to pause. It was okay to rest. The next day, Susannah called her publisher to reschedule some of her upcoming events. She also let her agent know that she needed a little more time before her next book was due. They were understanding and supportive, but for the first time in a while, Susannah felt at peace. In the days that followed, Susannah took long walks in the park, enjoyed quiet evenings with Tina and Vincent, and spent time reflecting on the journey that had brought her here. She realized that she didn't have to keep up with anyone else's expectations. What mattered was staying true to herself and honoring her own pace. As she relaxed and reconnected with her inner self, inspiration began to flow once again. Ideas for her next book started to form, and the pressure she had once felt seemed to melt away. She no longer feared failure. She had learned that failure was simply a part of the process. What mattered most was continuing to create, to grow, and to learn. One evening, as Susannah sat by the window, looking out at the stars, she felt a deep sense of gratitude. She had come so far, and the road ahead was full of possibilities. She knew there would be challenges, but she also knew that she was no longer alone. She had Tina and Vincent by her side, and together, they could face anything that came their way. As she closed her eyes, she whispered a quiet thank you to the universe for bringing her this far. The journey was far from over, but she was ready for whatever came next. As weeks passed, Susannah's new approach to life began to bring even more clarity and peace. She found herself enjoying writing again, the words flowing naturally without the heavy weight of expectations pressing down on her. With each page she filled, she rediscovered her love for storytelling, her reason for starting this journey in the first place. Vincent and Tina were by her side every step of the way, offering support and encouragement. It was during one of their many evening dinners that Susannah announced something she had been thinking about for a while. "I've decided that I want to start a project to give back to young writers," Susannah said, her voice full of excitement. "There are so many talented people out there who don't have the opportunities I've had. I want to create a space where they can grow and be mentored." Tina's eyes lit up. "That's an amazing idea, Susannah. You can share your journey with others and help them find their voices just like you did." Vincent smiled, proud of her. "You've always had a heart for others. I know you will make a real difference." Susannah felt a sense of purpose in this new venture. It wasn't just about her anymore. It was about lifting others up, just as she had been lifted by those who believed in her. The project started small, but soon it began to gain momentum. Susannah hosted workshops, online courses, and writing challenges, encouraging young writers to explore their creativity and find the courage to share their stories with the world. Months passed, and Susannah's life was filled with a new sense of fulfillment. She had learned how to balance her personal and professional life and had found a way to keep writing while also giving back to the community. It was no longer about the pressure to produce. It was about living authentically and helping others to do the same. One evening, as she sat at her desk, looking over the letters and stories from the young writers she had mentored, Susannah felt a deep sense of gratitude. She had come a long way from the insecure woman who had once feared failure. Now she knew that success wasn't just about achieving personal goals. It was about helping others reach theirs. That night, as the sun set behind the horizon, Susannah reflected on her journey. She thought about the ups and downs, the doubts, and the breakthroughs. She realized that every experience had shaped her into the person she was today. Moral lessons. 1. Success is not just about personal achievements. True success comes when we use our talents to uplift others. Helping others grow and succeed is just as important as reaching our own goals. 2. Taking time for yourself is essential. It's okay to take a step back and recharge. Pushing yourself too hard can lead to burnout, but finding balance allows you to grow and create sustainably. 3. Perseverance leads to growth. Challenges and setbacks are a part of life, but they can teach us valuable lessons. Persevering through tough times strengthens our character and helps us become better versions of ourselves. 4. Embrace your authenticity. You don't have to be perfect. Embrace your true self and don't be afraid to show it to the world. People will connect with you when you are real. 5. Believe in your impact. No matter how big or small your actions are, they can make a difference in someone's life. Your words, actions, and support can help others find their path and achieve their dreams. 6. Failure is part of the journey. Don't fear failure. It's not a sign of defeat, but an opportunity to learn, grow, and try again. Embrace your mistakes as stepping stones to success. Through the highs and lows, Susannah had found her place in the world, a place where she could write, create, and give back. She knew that her journey wasn't over, but she was ready for whatever came next. After all, the story was still unfolding. We have come to the end of the story. If you love this video, please kindly share with your loved ones, leave us a comment on your opinion, and subscribe for another interesting video like this. Until I see you all on the next one. Bye for now.